Matthew strikes in the 7th frame. He's going to give himself a double there. He's going to have the advantage. Sorry about the mix-up on the feed, folks. It looks like we're back. It looks like it's about to start playing right now, I think. Matthew M. up on lane 7, coming into the 8th frame on a double. Throwing the purple hammer. And extends it into a 3-bagger. Matthew M. just got himself into a 3-bagger going into the 9th frame. He's got a slight advantage over Silas Lira, who is up on the approach for the 8th frame. If he strikes out, he can shoot 218. There's one. If Matthew M. strikes out, who's on a 3-bagger going into the 9th frame, give me just a second, let that graphic clear, and I can give you what he's got left out there. He's got a 3-bagger going into the 9th frame. If he punches out and throws the back, it would be the back 7. It's going to be 16, 46, 76, 236. And Silas Lira has, I believe, 218, I said, left out there. This is your 4-5 match. Silas Lira was the 4 seed. Decided to start the match on the left lane. Matthew M. was your 5 seed. Had no chance to say anything but okay. Hammer. Silas Lira, I believe that's a Reign Supreme that he's throwing. It's a red ball. It's an older Thorn ball. I can tell that. I can't see the label on it, though. Ball from, he thinks it's out, and it was. It's the left-handed version of 2-8-10. I believe that's his 3-7-9. So this changes this match a little bit. Matthew M. he can convert this and then potentially still strike out and shoot 213, but the likelihood of converting this is very, very slim. Yeah, he takes the 2 off and leaves the 7 there. And now he can max out at 201. Silas Lira has got a double going into the 10th frame. Can strike out for 218. So that just pretty much flip-flopped that match right there. Matthews up on the approach on lane 7 for the 10th frame. And he threw that one in a little bit, and it left him a 4-7. So now all he can do is max out at 191. What's that for you. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it.
You know, this is Dennis Bush. I just want to say Justin has done a phenomenal job with this live stream and the communication and letting you guys know what's going on with all the action. And I appreciate it. No, that was pretty good. You've done unbelievable.
I appreciate
People
it, man.
have commented. And
Good.
thank you.
No
No
problem.
one knew you had all that bowling knowledge. I certainly didn't.
I didn't either.
No,
right, so Matt ended up
All right,
opening
back-
the 10th.
Go back. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I
Sorry to
appreciate it,
interrupt
Dennis.
the action.
No, I appreciate it a lot, man. Matt ended up opening up in the 10th and shooting 180. He couldn't convert that spare. So Silas is basically moving on here. He left a 10 pin in the first shot in the 10th frame. He picked it up, gives him 177 plus the 10 that he got in the 7th frame or the 10th frame. So he's already won the match. Basically, it's over. They just shook hands, basically. He's going to move on to bowl. What was it? Garrett Wolf, I believe, was your 3rd seed. Yes, he was. Matthew M is going to take home $100. Silas is going to move on to bowl the 3 seed. Garrett Wolf, who's making his way over to the pair right this minute. He's brought a phase 2 and a purple hammer with him. It's another left-handed kid. Don't know for sure. He might also be a Weber player. I don't know.
Garrett Wolf coming up next. Garrett, you're going to get 2 balls of practice on each lane. 2 balls on each lane.
So for those that didn't hear, Garrett's going to get 2 balls of practice on each lane. Let's grab the purple hammer first. He's going to get up on the right lane first. I would imagine that he's going to throw each ball on both lanes one time. I don't know how these guys get these purple hammers to just keep going through the rack forever.
5th place, Matthew
How?
Benzer. Come on up, get your money when you're ready.
So that was the phase 2 that just went down the left lane. If he's smart, he's going to wait on it to come back and throw it down the right lane. Yep, that's exactly what he did. Ball looks a little flat off the back of the pattern. He don't like it. He's waving it off. He's going to go back to the left lane and probably throw the purple hammer down this lane because he hasn't thrown it down here yet. Yep.
Mike, all return number 12.
All right, so Garrett just threw his last ball of practice on the left lane. He has the choice of who starts and where and when. So Garrett's going to start the match on the left lane, which, I mean, anybody that starts the match starts these matches on the left lane. So Garrett's going to start the match. That ball went a little high, but he kicked out a 6-pin for a strike in the first frame. Silas up on the right lane, still throwing that Reign Supreme. He's very far left. Gets that one to go through and down. Kicks out the 6-pin a little forward, or sorry, 4-pin a little late. The red ball Silas Lear is throwing is a code red. That ball never even crossed my mind. The Reign Supreme was the one that came through my mind. I thought that ball was going to be good. It kind of just didn't do anything off the back of the pattern. He almost left a 2-4 6-10, and it's really just a 6-10 now. So that's kind of a bit of a break there. I've got a group of senior professional bowlers sitting in front of the little bar, the stereotypical bar video game machine on the bar. Pictures. It's hilarious. Silas converted that 8-spare. So he's looking at a strike and a spare to start this match. Garrett Wolf's only thrown the first frame and he struck. Got AJ Wolstenholme and Robert Hilton over on 11 and 12 practicing. The winner of this match is going to move on to bowl AJ. The loser is going to take home $125. That ball went a little bit high, and he basically knocked out the big 4 on that one. How much longer can he go high and knock things down? Because he hasn't flushed one yet. No, you're good. He looks to be standing a little bit right of center and a left-handed player. And that one was flush. It's almost like he heard me say, "Oh yeah, I haven't flushed one yet. Hold my beer." Silas Lira just threw his 3rd frame down the lane. That ball hooked up and basically crossed over. He left a 3-pin. It's very, very high on the head pin. That was a huge ball by AJ Wolstenstein, or Wolf. Brain fart here. It's been a long day, folks. We're getting down to the end of it. Wolstenholme down there on the practice pair. Silas just changed to the purple hammer, trying to get some of that luck that Garrett's got going on, and it didn't work out for him. He just left an 8-pin.
Random question. Has anybody touched any of that?
Not in probably the last 5 or 6 minutes now. YouTube, Lehigh Lanes. They've got 3 different channels. It's on the 5-8 channel right now. They probably have the other 2 channels going, but obviously see what's going on.
Hey, Amy, can you go
Yeah, no
dump
problem.
that and throw it away for me? There's just a lot of water. Oh, thank you.
Garrett is stepping up on the approach on the right lane, lane 8 with the front 3. Left-handed player, uses his thumb, still throwing the purple hammer. Garrett Wolf goes ahead and buries that one. He's got the front 4, and he's fist pumping that one. That was a good shot, and he's got all the reason in the world he needs to fist pump that deal. Garrett getting up on lane 7 to try and make this front 4 or front 5. Wasn't exactly flush, but he'll take that. Hit him thin and watch him spin type deal right there. Looked like the 9-10 fell late, but who cares? So he's got the front 5. Silas Lyra getting up on the right lane. Started with a strike and has 3 consecutive spares. Gone to the purple hammer. That is not the play on the right side. It might be the play on the left side. It ain't the play on the right side. I don't know what he's thinking there. I mean, it's urethane. It goes early. And it's burned up in the middle. You're going to make it go earlier. Oh, and then he chopped the 6 off of the 3. That's not good. Not ideal. Yeah, he's getting back out of that urethane ball and picking that code red back up. There he goes, striking again. Should have never grabbed that purple hammer out. That ball don't work on the right side like it works on the left side. At least not when you're 7 in. So Garrett getting back up on the right lane with the front 4. Got his feet just about out of the lane. It's the lane about the 17th or 18th. I can see where it got to down lane because he screened me out on it. But that was another big shot. It went in there and just beat the pocket down. That's going to be the front 7 for Garrett. Silas is going to get back up on the right lane. He really just needs to. He really needs to strike out. pray, honestly. Went back to that code red. That looks like a good looking ball. Hooked a little too much, and he's 3-6-10. And this one's basically over, folks. This one is pretty much over. Garrett Wolf is going to be moving on to bowl AJ Wolstenholme, and Silas Lira likely going to be grabbing $125 here in about the next 10 minutes and packing up his stuff and heading home, unless he wants to stick around and watch these last few matches. Feel like he's just trying to keep it clean and make it look respectable at this point. Silas gets a strike in the eighth frame on the left lane. And Garrett's going to get back up there with the front seven, trying to make it 8 and 9 here in a minute. We saw on the last shot on this lane that he had his feet right about in the middle of the lane, about 20-21. The ball will look like it hit the lane about 17 or 18. Let's see if I can see where it's getting out to in the break point at this point.
It went 4-7.
Ball got out to, that particular ball only got out to about 11, but it also went high and left 2-4-7. So I don't believe that that's exactly his intended target line. He converts the 7 count spare. So if he strikes here in the 9th frame and then strikes out in the 10th, it's a 277. Like I said, this game is basically over, and Silas pretty much knows it too. It seems like Silas and Garrett at least know each other. If they're not buddies, they're over here messing with each other and stuff. There's another kick in the 6-pin over late strike for Silas in that purple, or Garrett in that purple ball. Silas is going to get up there and finish this deal out real quick, but this one's over. That's a 210 for Silas. AJ Wolstenholme waiting in the wings, firing off a couple of text messages, telling his buddies about how he's fixing to whip Garrett Wolf. So Silas missed that 210 altogether. He's got a max of 181 out there now if he throws all 3 in the 10th. Garrett Wolf can ball in the gutter twice and shoot 227. Oh my goodness. So Garrett pulled out a phase 2 in the first shot in the 10th frame. Probably knowing that Purple Hammer ain't gonna hold up for another 2 whole games, and pocket 7-10. He just took it back and rolled it back towards the back. He's like, "Yep, the hell with that ball." So he just takes the 1 off of the 7-10 there and shoots. I believe that's going to be 244.
All right, great match. Garrett Wolf moving on. Going against AJ Wilson. AJ, you'll have 2 balls each.
245. Sorry. So Silas Lear is going to collect $125 in cash because we don't do checks for these deals. And he's going to pack his stuff up and go home. Garrett Wolf is moving on to bowl AJ Wolston home. AJ is going to get 2 balls of practice on each lane, just like Garrett did. I saw him bring a phase 2 over, and I saw him bring. Not really even sure what that other one is. Kind of looks like an original high road. No, that's not a high road. Is that a wild streak you brought over? Okay, yeah. He brought over a phase 2 and a wild streak. Wild streak. Well, I'll say that the wild streak is drilled pin up, but AJ's a 2-handed player, and the pin is like barely above his fingers. And I know of a lot of 2-fingered players now that their quote-unquote pin down layout, the pin is still technically above the fingers. It's just barely right above the fingers. And then when you look at their quote-unquote pin up stuff, the pin's 4 or 5 inches above their fingers. So he's thrown through the phase 2 on the right lane both times. I believe he's only got 2 balls left on the other lane, and that's it. So I don't think he's even really thinking about that wild streak. That wild streak might be just this thing is just here just in case type deal. Because he's got the phase 2 out for his 3rd practice ball right now on the left lane. It's getting late, folks. It's getting late. It's 11:15. Got this match and one more after this one to determine our winner. I'm going to stay with you through the end here unless something weird happens. About the only weird thing on the face of the planet that could happen is the pretty little lady calls me and goes, "Hey, want to hang out?" And I don't see that happening. Her sister just came in town.
All right, AJ, the higher seed, you get a choice. All right, Amy.
AJ gets the choice of what's going to happen here, and I believe that he has told Garrett that you're going to start this match. So we've got the match. We've got the number 3 seed bowling against the number 2 seed. And the winner is going to move on to bowl Robert Hilton for the title of this tournament. And your loser of this match is going to take home, excuse me, wrong button. Your loser of this match is going to take $250 cash for 3rd place. Garrett Wolf led the match off and threw a big strike in the first frame. I believe that he's still throwing the Purple Hammer. AJ Wolston home on the right lane for the first frame, throwing the phase 2, and that was a big strike. That was a big strike. I think he probably moved about 3 boards left with his feet there and maybe one with his eyes. Kept it a little tighter. And that ball read and blew the pocket up. That's a good looking ball. It was a little further out, but it just didn't react the right way. And it left a 2-8 for him in the second frame.
Do you know what the lightest ball is they carry? What color?
They make some 6-pounders, and they're like a light green color. Some of the bowling alleys will carry them behind the desk so that like the older kids can't whip them a million miles an hour.
Okay.
AJ up on the left lane to try to convert this 2-8 in the second frame. I believe he's got it. Yep. Garrett's going to get up on the right lane, start frame number 2. Believe that he's still throwing that purple hammer. That was some very weird pin carry, but that's a double for Garrett Wolf to start this match. Not really sure what even just happened there. There was a 6-pin stand there. Something came from like the 10-pin area and kicked it out of there. Garrett getting up on the left lane now for the third frame, lane 7. On the purple hammer. The ball looks good, but it labored down there, and he left himself a 3.69. So he picked up that 3.69, clears the way for AJ Wolstenholme to get up on the and start the third frame. Still throwing the phase 2, pretty far left. There was no recoil though, so he should be pretty far left. Good looking shot. Oh, and it hooked up early, and he went 4.67. That's not ideal. Robert Hilton, your top speed lone player left, throwing practice balls on 12 is still blowing them up down here. AJ takes the 4 and the 7 off and leaves the 6 there. It's almost impossible to pick that up. You're gonna need a fair amount of luck on your side to pick that deal up. Getting a little tired. Been here for over 12 hours. AJ Wolstenholme lets the fourth one go, and it hooked up. He's 3.610 on that one. Oh, and he picked the 3.6 off, or the 6.10 off of the 3. It's 2 open frames in a row for AJ. One of them was almost impossible to convert. One of them was not super hard to convert, and he made an error. So Garrett Wolf's going to get up on the right lane with a chance to really take control of this match here. He's already up by 2 at this point, and if he strikes here, it's really going to be a big advantage. Still got that purple hammer in his hand. Good looking shot. Crunched it. Crunched it. Garrett stepping up here on the approach on lane 7 for the 5th frame. Trying to make this a double. That one hooked a little early, and he's looking at a 4.67, a lot like AJ just was. So AJ just got up there on the right lane and ball hooked up early again, and he leaves a 6-10. Converts that though. So we won't have a 3rd open frame in a row, but he needs to get on the strike train right here. What did I do? There it is. And he just pulled up that wild streak. He pulled out that wild streak, and it didn't hook. He missed the head pin right. It didn't look like a bad shot. It looked like it was on target for what he was doing with that phase too. But he seems to be lost here. And he cannot convert that spare. So Garrett Wolf getting back up on the right lane after an open frame in the 5th with an advantage. That ball hooked up early, and these guys are seeing some major transition right now. He left a 2.47. And I'm super interested to see what his adjustment is, because the only that I've even seen him in here throwing today, purple hammer in that phase 2 that he pocket 7-10 at the end of the last game with, that he rolled away right after it happened. So if this ain't the ball, I mean, he's still in control of this match. Oh, but he picks off the 4 and the 7, just like AJ did when he 3, 6, 10 and picked off the 6 and the 10. This is turning into a little bit of an ugly match here. Garrett's still got a major advantage, a 24 pin advantage, but both players now have 2 opens in a row at some point in the game. Garrett's just done it in the 5th and the 6th. AJ did it in the 3rd and the 4th, but AJ also opened in the 6th. And quite frankly, if Garrett throws another strike right here, he's still in control of the match. And that ball's out. Still the purple hammer. Crunched it, left a ring 7 pin. As Rob Stone would say on. I'm pretty sure we all thought that ball was falling in the gutter on that 7 pin attempt. All right, so AJ gets up here on the right lane in the 7th frame. Really needing a row. I don't know what ball he grabbed off the rack. It looks like that. Then he got back to the phase 2. Do that wild streak one time and didn't do squat. Phase 2's down there. It was way inside. He just left a 5-7. Nah, he just left a 5-7, and his Weber teammates are giving him a rough time about it. And he doesn't even know what to do right now. Gonna attempt to spare with that wild streak again. This might be somewhat of a okay. Let me give this one more look. Nope, can't convert. Leaves the 7 pin. So that's another 2 rope and frames in a row for AJ Wolstenholme. Robert Hilton still down there throwing strikes on the practice pair. So AJ hasn't thrown a strike since the 1st frame. He made a spare in the 5th, but other than that, he's only got one other spare to show for it, including that other strike too. That one didn't hook, and it left a bucket for him. I don't really know that he knows what exactly to do right now between being irritated as shit at his ball reaction and his Weber teammates back here giving him the business about it. Weber, or Garrett is also another Weber teammate. AJ's got a 3rd open in a row here, 5 opens in this game, and he can only max out at 157. I know this isn't the showing that he wants to have in the Stepladder final, but whoa, that was a crunch strike by Garrett Wolf that almost turned into like it looked like the 2 pin just kind of slid back on the rack until all of a sudden it just fell off the back of the rack. That easily could have just stayed there for the same price and been considered like an 8 pin or something. AJ tried to get really far left with that altered reality, and it left the bucket. And I don't know that any of these guys really knows what to do right now. It's going to be super interesting to see what Robert Hilton does when he gets over here to this pair. Garrett Wolf just left one a little bit light, left him a 3 pin. They just shook hands on the match, and Garrett's going to move on to bowl the final. AJ converts the bucket, and he's fun with this match at this point. So if AJ strikes out in the 10th, it's 147. If Garrett converted this, and he can strike out for 194. And I believe that Tom Hankey and Charles Boston have $1 bet for AJ to shoot 147. And I think it started before this game started. Tom just looked at Charles and said, "I'm taking your dollar if he shoots that 147." Oh, he didn't do it. He didn't. Tom, you got to give up that $1 now. Oh, and he picked it up. So he could try to shoot 133 in the final or in the semifinal match. Garrett Wolf up on. Somebody just said something funny. Stop Garrett Wolf right in his tracks. Either that or that thumb hole don't fit that well. What ball is that? Yeah, oh yeah. That's a track ball. I'm having a blast with this. Got to be honest with you. I'm loving you guys messing with each other. So AJ took in strikes, and that was the only 2 strikes. He threw one in the first frame, and he threw one to finish it off at 133. Tom, he's running up there to take a picture of it. Oh, no, he's on FaceTime with somebody showing him. That's funny. Garrett did not like the ball reaction off of that shot. It was some track ball, like a silver and purple color. I don't know which one it was. It might have been one of the Kinetics. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. And he just went back to the bag, and I think that's an Axiom solid there, or Axiom Pearl that he just grabbed out of there. It is an Axiom Pearl. Looked a little bit better than that other ball that he threw just a second ago. So 168 to 133 is going to win this semifinal match. And Garrett Wolf is moving on, as you just heard Dennis Bush say. He's bowling against Robert Hilton, the number 1 seed. Robert's going to get 2 balls of practice on each lane. AJ Wolstenholme is going to take home $250 cash. And like I said, Garrett Wolf can move on to bowl Robert Hilton in the final to decide who's going to win this Lehigh Lanes monthly scratch sweeper on the 42-foot Mark Roth oil pattern. As I've said earlier, I have no load sheet in front of me. All I know about this pattern is that it's 42 feet. I don't know how much oil it is. I don't know what the ratio is. If I had to take a guess, being what type of pattern it is, by that I mean a PBA pattern, but not one of the patterns. It's one of the legend patterns. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 3-to-1. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 27, 28, maybe 29 mils of oil. So Robert brought his altered reality and I believe that ball is a Super Obsession, which is like an overseas release of a Hammer Obsession Pearl, I believe. It's a bluish colored ball. He's been throwing this altered reality all day long, but as you can see by that practice ball right there, that ball may be way, way too strong. John Burkett and Gary Allstar are in there singing songs in the bar. Robert Hilton's got one more practice ball that he's going to throw down lane 7 and is going to throw that Super Obsession. And that looks like it's going to be the ball that he's going to be probably throwing in this title match. Again, we did not get a re-oil after the 6 games of qualifying.
You got the choice. What you want to do?
Robert has lane choice and who gets to start in the match choice. I believe that he's going to have Garrett start the match. Nope, he's going to start the match. Oh my goodness, that was a really good shot that he threw down there in the first shot, and he left a solid 9-pin. The theme of the day in this bowling alley today is solid 9 pins. Did it not score?
Hey, Mike.
All right, we haven't actually started the game, so Robert didn't technically count that, but we're going to put it in there and spot a 9-pin so he can shoot it. I love the way they spot pins here. The guy's just over top of the machine, knocking all the other pins over. Don't lock that 9-pin over. We need that one. Kick that 7 out of there, too. And all them other pins. Why does that dude keep doing that? Dennis is running to the back. This problem right quick. That's exactly how that's done. All right, we got the problem under control now. Robert there and shoot his spare attempt here after a couple of probably a minute and a half wait. And it's away and it's good. All right, Garrett Wolf is going to get up there to start his match on the right lane. He's going to bowl both the first and the second frames. Garrett, I believe, has gotten away from the purple ball. He has. He's throwing that Axiom Pearl. And that's a strike. That was a good-looking ball. Even he looked a little bit surprised at how good it looked. I feel like I expected that to not be as great as it was. Garrett up on the left wide, and he leaves a 3-6-7. Early opening for Robert Hilton if he can convert on it. Oh, and he converts the 3-6-7 spare. So not as big as an opening as we once thought. Really no opening at all, honestly. Robert Hilton getting up on the left lane. He's quite far left with that obsession super obsession, whatever you want to call it. The ball might be a little in. Nope, held the line nice, kicked out the 7-pin. I feel like that's some sort of a paralyzed obsession, but it might be like, where'd my cup go? There it is. John Burkett is starting to sing songs in the bar to us all, folks. Robert Hilton lets a 7-pin on the third frame as I was watching John Burkett sing songs to us. I can't believe that we have 32 people watching on the live stream at 11:15 at night. Thanks, guys, for sticking around and joining us for this. Garrett Wolf just left a 3-7 split, so there's a little opening for Robert Hilton. We thought that Garrett had left him a opening in the second frame, and then he converted it. There's nothing saying that he's not going to convert this one, though. Almost. That could have been a conversion for the same price, honestly. So that was an Axiom Pearl, and he's just went and grabbed a phase 2 off of the seat. With the same phase 2, he left the 7-10 at the end of the match previous to this one. That looked, I was going to say that looked good. And that's a strike in the fourth frame for Garrett. Robert's going to get back up on the right lane here to the fourth frame with a spare strike and a spare to start. Oh, Robert ripped on that one. Yeah, and he leaves a bucket on that one. I wasn't sure if it was going to react and go through the pocket or not, and really kind of get flat off the back. and it kind of got a little flat off the back.
I'm telling you, the midnight 8-game sleeper starts in 45 minutes.
The midnight 8-game sweeper starts in 49 minutes. Dan Knowlton says. John Burkett's in there talking about how he's ready to start bowling pot games.
4 games sweeper in the morning, or the handicap sweeper in the morning.
John Burkett says he's going to come up here and bowl the handicap shot in the morning. Dennis, I won't be here for that.
I don't blame you, Justin. I might not be here.
There's a red one over on there.
Yeah, on the broadcast table. Robert converts his spare that he left himself in the, I believe that was the 5th frame. It was an 8-count spare. He had opened up, then when he left that bucket, he only took 3 of them.
There's another one.
I know, I seen that. Look, something about a roll of toilet papers on there. Look at. That's funny. All right, Garrett Wolf getting up in the 5th frame on the right lane. He's carrying a strike into this frame, but he had an open before that. Oh, and he just threw that fake sweep very wide and missed the head and left. Got a handful of the senior tour guys. They're standing behind me in the door to the bar that are going, "Come on, Robert, win one for the old guys." Robert's one of our older local players around here. I believe Gary crossing with Robert during qualifying. Gary Allstott behind me. Woo! And he almost chopped the 2 or the 3 and the 6 off of the 1 there. So he made the spare in the 5th. He's getting up over on the left lane for the 6th frame. It's a pretty close match right here. Pretty close match here. Oh, yeah, and Garrett's pulling the urethane ball back out.
Get there!
And it did. It did get there. The sauce, he says.
Go, Robert.
All right, we got Robert Hilton getting up on the right lane on lane 8 in the 6th frame. Still looks to be throwing that super obsession. It's almost all the way up against the ball return on the left lane.
Get there, Robbie.
It looked good. Yeah, that was a big shot. That was a big shot. It's a 1-pin match right now. Garrett's got the advantage. It's a 1 match. Robert's getting up on the left lane, trying to make this strike that he just threw in the 6th frame into a double. That's a good-looking ball, at least off his hand. Oh, and it wraps a 10-pin. That's pretty unfortunate for Robert. That was a really good shot. And he converts the 10-pin in the 7th frame. So if Garrett gets up there and strikes, he's got a major advantage here. He'll have a double going into the 8th frame. Got the purple hammer back out. He's taking himself a little minute to collect himself. This is a crucial point in the match, and he knows that if he throws a double right here, that he's got a major advantage. He only had a 1-pin lead coming into this frame. Good looking ball off his hand. And it carries. And he's got a double advantage here. A fairly big advantage, really. The lefty getting up on the left lane for the 8th frame, trying to turn this double into a 3-bagger. It's a good looking ball. It went a little early, and he's got himself a 2-4-7 again. So Robert Hilton needs to get up here and throw a double in the 8th and 9th. Can't overtake the lead if he does so, but he can give himself a hand up. And oh no, Garrett just chopped the 4-7 off of the 2. That's an open frame in the 8th frame, and the door is wide open for Robert Hilton. Robert Hilton can get up here and double in the 8th and the 9th. He's going to take the momentum of this match away from Garrett. Still got that super obsession in his hand. You got a crowd of senior players in the door of the bar that are rooting for Robert right now. That was a big shot. Kick that thing off. Kick that thing out of there. Wow. Wow. He threw a really good shot at the 7-pin out there. Unfortunately. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah. Yeah. Talking about it and everything. I got a group of like 10 senior players in the door in the door to the bar rooting for Robert Hilton to beat this college kid in the final of this tournament. So he picked up the spare. If he strikes here, he's got a max of 204, and Garrett's got a max of 201. Ball. We got a ball return situation on lane 8 that we're waiting on real quick. I can see whoever's reaching into the pit back there. Let's try and get this ball back. All right, Robert's got that ball back. I'm going to try and get this one to go through the pins the right way somehow. There he goes. He got that one to go through the rack the right way. Good shot, Robert. So if Robert strikes out, he's looking at 204. If Garrett strikes out, he's looking at 201. So Robert's got a 3-pin advantage in this match right this minute. Garrett Wolf stepping up on the right lane right now in the 9th frame. He has to get all 4 of these to force Robert to get the first 3 in an 8 count. Or the first 2, my apologies, in an 8 count. Shot in the 9th is away. Crunched it, and it's a flat 7.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
Having these guys.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious. I've said it on the stream like 3 times. There's a dozen senior players in the door to the bar rooting for Robert Hilton to win this match. We got another ball return situation on lane 8. We may have a problem there. Somebody might need to stand back there and push that ball back every time. This fucking guy with his shoulder thing. On every single shot. All right, Garrett's going to try and convert the 7-pin here. If he does so and strikes out, it's 191 max. Picks it up. Got the 10th frame on the lane 7, left lane. Excuse me. The urethane ball's going down the lane. It's out of target. Yeah, out of target. And he's not happy with how he threw that shot. It's a 3.79 left in the 10th frame. And this one's going to be basically all but over, really. I mean, if he converts this somehow and manages to get a fill ball out of it, he can strike for 178. But Robert Hilton's got 204 out there still. And he only took 1 off, and that's going to give him a 166 in this game. Robert Hilton really only needs to 9 spare and throw a 3 count to win, really. Any spare in a 3 count wins this match for Robert Hilton. But spares are not guaranteed right now. Spareable leaves are not guaranteed right now. I fully expect a couple of these senior players to come out of the bar and come grab Robert when he wins this match. Yeah. That's a good one, and they're all over it. They're all over it. That's a double for Robert Hilton, and this match is basically over. Robert Hilton has won this. That's Gary Allstott. Is not back there. John Marsala, John Burkett back there. Michael Haggett's hanging out back in the back there yelling. John Burkett just looked right at Silas Lyra and said, the old guys are so much better. Robert, he didn't hear him. He goes, the old guys are so much better. Robert Hilton just made it a 3-bagger going into this thing. And yeah, he's throwing his plastic ball down there for the last shot, but that's a winner. 202 to 166. And Robert Hilton wins one for the old guys.
Congratulations.
So Garrett Wolf is going to take home $350 cash. Robert Hilton's going to take home $550 cash. for his efforts today. And that is going to wrap up all of at least the competitive bowling action that we have. Robert's going to come out and bring, or I'm sorry, Dennis Bush is going to come out and bring Robert a big giant check for $550, like a big giant fake check, because he's getting cash before he walks in the door. But yeah, that's going to do it for all of our competitive bowling action tonight. If you were with us all day long, you got to see Chris Warren take down the PBA 50 Lehigh Lanes Open presented by DBA, in which he shot a 100 game in the semifinal match and basically just ran away with that tournament. And then Robert Hilton had a little bit of a slow start with a 211 the first game when a lot of guys were Robert Yo Hilton. That's right, baby. A lot of guys striking in the beginning. Robert shot 211 the first game, and then after that, he just went off. He shot 256, 240 something, 250 something again. Shot 279 one game, 278, I believe. And then the last game, he had a bid for 300. He had the front nine before he went 9 count, 7 count. And all of the senior tour guys that are left are going to come out here and get up there on the approach with Robert Hilton and take a picture, which is awesome. This is completely awesome. Get up there, Peter. Get up there, Peter. This is completely awesome. I love this right here. I hope I can get my phone out fast enough. That was completely awesome. All right, so on behalf of Dennis Bush and Chris Keene and Lehigh Lanes and Lehigh Acres, Florida, thanks for hanging out with us and watching all day and all night. A really, really fun day, at least for me, of bowling action, even though I didn't throw a single ball down the lane. Thanks to everybody watching. Thanks, Dennis and Chris Keene, for letting me do this. Everybody for their kind words of support. This is only the second time I've ever done this. Thanks to the pretty little lady. She knows who she is for being ultra, ultra supportive of everything that I've basically done that she's known about. I will see you on Tuesday morning. Everybody else, I'll see y'all. I'll probably be back in a month when they do this whole scratch deal again. Honestly, I don't think they have really anything major going on after, between now and then. So thanks, everybody. Have a good night. I've been Justin McDonald. Peace. Yeah, there was times that I had it out.
Yeah, because basically that's the battery that it just has in it.
Right.
So if that gets low, then you plug it in.
Yeah.
It saves you